All right. Well, the first move is not going to be a surprise. All right. Let's get the knight out here. And lo and behold, instead of capturing, pretty much always on these gambits, queen's gambit as well, I'm just going to reinforce the center. Not changing things up too much for us, but reinforce the center. And then we can go back to our habits. Okay, here. Knight. Let's get us castled. Okay. We've may have lost a little something in the middle here, but we have the rest of our pieces that still need to be improved, so maybe we can do so like this with the rook and also with developing our bishop. So bring the rook near the king, and in this case, anytime we can check the opponent, I consider it an achievement. Now, I'm not considering that we might still be worse here. I haven't got to that part. Could be true, but I'm happy enough. What could possibly go wrong here? Still bringing our pieces to the center. Still snorking up, especially on a move like that. I'm probably going to play it anyway, honestly. Okay, we gotta develop these pieces here. I'm not exactly sure what we're gonna do, but rook into the middle, I suppose. Queen up. Yeah, rook over. Pieces to the middle. Bishop to a6. Well, I mean, look, bishop to a6. The guy's just going to play d3 anyway. But I would never sit there and say, well, we want to play bishop a6 now. In general, we're still playing towards the center, right? Let's not forget our habits. Okay, we got some RPMs to do here. So we want to make sure, like, if we're ever doing something a little bit different in our new level, that it's, you know, it's sort of intentional. We're not just playing bishop a6 because we think we can play bishop a6 at this level. No. If there's a certain opening where a piece might develop to the side of the board that's unusual, but it's something that we know is good now, that's fine. I mean, the knight's still going to go to the center here. I'm not just going to be considering moves like that. Our bishop's hit. We got to move this bishop. This is the only square that I can see that's available right now. It's not really any other options. Queen goes to f2. And what do we have now? I mean, I have some checks, but that's about it. I don't really see any big tactics there, so I think I'll just continue to kind of move our pieces into the middle, improve the bishop a little bit. We're also running out of pawn moves as well. But to be honest, I'm running out of pawns, first of all. But it feels like we have a good position. You know, just fundamentally, the rooks are in the center, the bishops are nearby. Like, every piece right now is close to the center. Queen's getting hit. I guess we'll stay pretty close to the middle. I can't take this, so it's kind of a no-brainer what we're up to now. The only good thing about our position really is that the king has moved. If the king was castled, we'd still have a decent position in terms of habits, but wouldn't be amazing. Okay, knight goes here. I guess we have to keep moving our queen, stay central, and I guess we can take this. So that'll probably be the move. Take that. Okay, pawn up. I guess this is our, the squint technique is reminding us that there's not much we can do here. So bishop's kind of stuck, huh? Yep. I don't really see anything past that. We could defend our queen or move it. I'm not really sure, to be honest. Maybe just move it out of the way. Like, defending it doesn't... I mean, what do I mean? Rook e5. I feel like this makes a bit more sense. Not much we can do about the bishop. Okay. Take it. As opposed to maybe taking this way, which trades the queens. Okay. I'll take the free knight in the center of the board. Probably the easiest free piece we've ever taken. But what I was saying about knight f4 is, notice how I'm not taking with the queen, whereas maybe previously we would have. Because I'm just not interested in trading pieces when I'm behind, right? When I'm down material. Just not something we're looking to do. Okay. What do we have here? Maybe we could double the rooks or something. This looks like an idea. So, in level 4, we're definitely a little bit more mindful of the exchanges. Okay, got to move our queen, huh? It's not many squares, actually. Not many squares to move to. And we also don't have... This is like the... we also don't have many ways to take this back, so... Not ideal. Let's see. He's taking his time here. I mean, we have like a pawn move to make, but this one looks, if we're making a pawn move, in the center looks like the way to go. Okay. Queen here, I mean, definitely red dot is the first thing I'm looking at, but the second thing I'm looking at is that he's just like immediately exposed the king. So I feel like with this, it would be insane not to give this check. Like, it was just, you must. You're not doing that. More times than not, you're missing out on, an incredible opportunity. I don't mind taking this and can bring our piece sort of back into the middle. Definitely don't like that knight on the side of the board. Bit unfortunate there that we didn't actually win the queen. I'd say more times than not, we would. Okay, we got to bring the piece into the middle. This looks like it's going to be a tough position here. Maybe we can get our pawn up the board. Okay, what's our guy doing here? What's our guy doing here? What's our guy doing here? Wait a minute. He's on level. He's on the early habits. He's bringing the king to the middle. Oh, well done, my friend. Well done. Great habits. Great habits. Well done. I love that from you. Love that. Really well executed. Ten out of 10. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. This guy absolutely killed it. Welcome to the circle. Why do we trade the queen near the end? Well, I mean, we're not down material anymore, right? Habits are still habits, right? I'm not going to refuse a queen trade because I'm counting up the pawns. Like, I'm down a pawn, I'm not just going to be immediately refusing every queen trade. If I'm down a piece, I will. Like, I'm down a piece here. So I'm not going to sit here and go like that, because clearly down a piece, I'm just trading to my own doom. But I've got my piece back. So now we're just playing a normal game. I mean, we still want to trade just like normal habits. There's nothing unusual about that. Why not knight g3 instead of trading queens? I mean, what are these questions here? We got a trade in front of us. Have you guys forgotten how to play habits? What the fuck is knight g3? Got some ladies watching the stream or something? Are you trying to impress someone? What's knight g3? What does this move do? The guy came into the center of the board and ended up getting a nice mate in there. Mason Lee Burton, thanks for 37 months. Welcome back to Luke Silver. Thanks for the new Prime sub. Dark Shock, thanks for the new Prime. Is queen takes rook acceptable a few moves back? Let's say acceptable, Malleus. Acceptable. But it looked like a suspicious move to me. You know, queen for rook, I don't know if I trust that. No, that's the thing about level 4 is a lot of you are just going to be like, oh, level 4, there's no restrictions. Let me just do whatever I want. No. Just because the training wheels come off the bike doesn't mean that you're not going to crash. You know? It's time for the training wheels to come off, but it doesn't mean you know how to ride a bike. Let's continue. Most likely, we are going to play another game. Pawn into the center. Let's see what he decides to play. Okay, I was going to say the French, but f5 was played. Very interesting. Let's take and see what happens. We want to get castled real quick here. Bishop to e7. Yes. Rook into the middle of the board when the king is still there. Even if he just gets the castle out of it, I feel like this is just a great habit to get into. We'll have the bishop hit the center, and probably a very small difference is instead of the knight making it to that square, a lot of the time it's instead going to jump into the middle like that. Okay, let's capture that. And yeah, again, knight here is just slowly going to be phased out in favor of knight here, because this is just not a nice pawn structure to have like the pawn, the knight, and then the pawn. You kind of want the pawns to be all connected like this. Okay, we have a big scary move here. Taking it only seems to satisfy what our opponent's going to do. Wait a minute. Have you noticed? No, you haven't noticed yet. No. Never mind. You haven't noticed. I won't bring it up again. Have you noticed now? Or still need some more time? We talked about this quite a lot last time. Just have a look at your opponent's bishop. The pawns are slowly starting to appear on light squares. The bishop is on a light square. These are all things we like to see. Trade the damn knight. Oh, someone said it. Someone said trade the damn knight. Okay, we'll trade the damn knight. And we'll trade the damn pawn. And would you look at this? We have a position where the knight has pawns on dark squares and the bishop has pawns on light squares. Now, I'm not saying this is a extra special position, but it is once again knight against bishop. So we have a pretty good idea what we want to do. All right, we're both doing the same thing. We're both doubling up. Knight against bishop. What does that mean? Where do my pawns want to go? Well, first things first. This looks a little nervy. Let's make sure to keep following our habits here. Okay. Maybe a trade of pieces. I'd like to get rid of all the rooks, and then we will have knight against bishop. And hopefully, with what little we know about knight and bishop endgames, we could just sit there, do exactly that, and see what happens. So let's try to sit here, do exactly that, and see what happens. Pawns on dark squares. Trade the rest of the pieces. If all my pawns are on dark squares, and the guy's a light squared bishop, you see what I mean? There's really no way that we should be losing. Maybe we're not going to win, but we really shouldn't be losing. You know what I mean? Okay, the king's up. A pawn on a dark square. Shocker. Okay, the guy's played here. This is something I feel like we have seen before, right? If I have the option of taking an isolated pawn, in general, I think I will. Okay, it's an isolated pawn. Looks pretty nice, sure. Put a knight there. Now, am I interested in taking the bishop? Definitely not. No. Forget about everything. Just leave the knight there. Now the guy goes here. I know we're putting a pawn on the light square, but is it going to stay there? No, it's going to go to a dark square. Can he put it on a dark square? No. So I know for sure that I'm going to get that pawn there. That's why I feel comfortable with this move. Forget about everything. I don't care about knight b5. It's not important. Just close your eyes and let the dark square pawns guide you. Just let them guide you. Okay? We've got this. Sure. All the pawns are on dark squares, right? We've done it. And our opponent has not done it. Has done everything wrong. Couldn't be worse. Awful. So now you've got a knight. You've got all these pawns. You've done a good job. What comes next? Well, attack something. Let me go here and let me take this. You know, let me pick a pawn, see if I can do something. You've got a knight that can jump around. Do I care about his bishop jumping around? No, I don't, because it could move anywhere on the whole board and nothing could happen. Right? Let's jump in here. See what's going to happen. Ah, damn it. Well, he defended. Okay, it was a good run. You know, pack it up, everyone. Let's, you know, leave it at that. All right, well, we'll try to attack the other pawn. Anything for me over here? I'm just moving the knight around. Not really with any strong strong feelings of success. Just jumping. Okay, I tried to attack another pawn. It was defended. All right. Good talk. Good talk. All right, let's keep jumping. But it's risk-free. I feel like he could make a mistake, and I feel like I'm pretty covered, right? Not really anything for me to worry about. The king is moving. Okay, well, he wants to go here, surely. Can't let him do that. Let's just keep jumping around. And hopefully you get the idea. There's not really any way we can lose. And maybe the guy does make a mistake. So, that's it. That's the end game. There's nothing that can go wrong. Let me go here. Give him a sack, guys. You think that he's not going to make a mistake? Look, he deserves a draw in that case. But all I did was move my knight in a circle, and suddenly my king got in. How did that happen? That doesn't make sense. I didn't do anything. It's these damn dark square pawns. My knight can jump literally anywhere. It's jumping everywhere. Now there's this pawn to take. Like, the knight just... I'm risk-free here. Pawns on dark squares, you can't touch them. I didn't do anything. I just put the knight in a circle. But it doesn't matter. Because I'm either going to succeed or maybe we draw. I go in a circle. Who cares? It's a draw. If your opponent's good enough to make a draw like that, I mean, literally, clap it up for them. That's impressive if he can make a draw there. But are they going to make... Are they good? No, of course they're not going to. It's just so easy to play with the knight against the bishop. You just put the pawns on opposite color of the bishop, and that's it. Couldn't be worse for him here. He's got a problem here. He's got a problem here. He's got a problem here. Most likely, he's not going to be able to cover all the problems, especially with the time ticking down. And you can't be surprised at the way that the opponent played here. It wasn't necessarily bad. It was dead even. But all we had in our pocket was an understanding of knight against bishop. And not even a good one, just a basic understanding. Obviously, we still want to bring our pieces close to the center. Same with the knight. But the pawns, just put them on dark squares, you know? Now, yes, I did put a pawn on a light square here, but it's on the way to a dark square. So a good example would be king here, then g4. I would not be interested in playing this move because I have no guarantee that I'm getting to this square. So the opponent could go here, and I don't like this pawn because now I have to spend the entire game defending it. I can't do whatever I want. Now, the bishop just sits there, hits my pawn. Now my position sucks. Why am I saddling myself with a defensive responsibility for no reason? But in the game, I had my king here. So I know the guy can't play that, so I know that I'm going to get to play g5. And once my pawn's here, I mean, I don't have a care in the world. Nothing could be attacked. I could go to sleep here, and we'd be drawing the game. Now, the opponent played better than most, because I would expect someone to blunder something. Maybe he would move his king. Oops, let our king in. But we just moved the knight in a circle. Then all of a sudden our king got in. This is a pretty big deal. Now, even if your knight moves make less sense than mine, it doesn't matter. You'll draw the game, or maybe you'll win. But you're probably not going to lose. Very simple. Knight against bishop. Go to the next one. Well, we always want to meet the pawn in the middle, and just like we saw with the King's Gambit, these are going to be way more popular, especially as you get higher rated. I just like to defend it rather than take. We'll bring our knight out, do the same with the bishop. Obviously still hunting for some trades, sure. We've always talked about this bishop, how we don't really want to get the bishop out here, and it's not always possible because they take us. So the bishop will be going here, unless he takes us, and then I'm happy to develop it. And where does this knight go? Not usually here, but rather to d7. Just because knight c6 is the exact same thing we just talked about. I don't like that pawn-knight pawn combo. I'd rather have this pawn something like that, or just nothing. Put the knight here. The only time I'd want a knight there is if this pawn was maybe in front of it, but we don't need to get into that. So more like a knight d7. Yeah, okay, I'm blocking my bishop, but at least I have an idea where it can go. Okay, the queen comes up. Snork up here. You know, a little bit cautious with castling. I just want to wait to see what he wants to do. Might castle anyway, but I have some useful moves that I don't mind making here. All right. Guys, continued with c5. All right. What can we do against c5? Well, first of all, interesting move. Best way to react to something like this. Maybe continue the plan that we had anyway. Bishop's not coming. Like, now that this is not captured, I know that the bishop's not coming out that way. So trying to see if there's a escape route there. Okay, we'll stick with our habits and trade there. Not much for the bishop there, to be fair. That makes sense though. Instead, I'm going to choose to castle, and depending on my opponent's next move, okay, it goes here. I'm going to stick in the center with this one. Remember, okay. This is 1600 or 600? Okay, 16. Interesting. Okay. Fascinating stuff. Fascinating stuff. F4. Okay. Well, I was going to say, let's get the center open, right? Because clearly our opponent's playing on the side, and maybe even starting to play on the side over here. So we'd like to play in the middle of the board. Not always possible. Truly, not always going to be possible. That's just the way it is. But okay, this is the position. Guys played f4. I guess we'll stick to capturing. I'd like to do this. It's a bit annoying. G4. My goodness. G4 from the guy here. He's shameless, isn't he? He's shameless. Well, at least we know what he's up to. He wants to go here, right? And he wants to checkmate us. You know, looks pretty scary. Now, I will say, normally, you just want to play in the center. So, it might not be best, but I'd like to have this be a habit. You know, opening up the center. And I can't believe he took me there. Okay. Okay. Ah, and here it is. Here it is. The great invasion. Queen h3. Well, we've got one threat. Remember, we're up a piece here. We've got one threat to deal with. So, yeah, how can we deal with it? h8. We need to stop h8. Clearly, the game is going to end like this, and it's not going to end any other way. It's going to end if he plays that. That's it. So, probably a move that prevents it makes sense to me. He's stubborn. But clearly, he's only got one idea. So, I feel like if I stop his one idea, I'm covered. What is this? I mean, I got nothing to say to the guy. Just nothing to say. Take this. I'm going to bring my queen in the middle. Like, I'm good. I'm good. Queen, like, I don't even know what the guy's doing anymore. I don't know what to tell you. This is definitely not a position we are concerned about. We can take this pawn. It's also with a check. Okay. And obviously after this move, all the captures in the world will be just fine. Let's take. Many an option, but let's take. Let's take. And with this arrangement, I would say a nice standard fork makes everyone happy. I don't know, guys. A strange game here. A strange game for sure. All right. Okay, let's push that. Bring our rook into the middle, probably. Okay, we'll go for a fork here. Not missing this move with my hawk-like vision, that's for sure. Maybe a trade. Let's eliminate the piece. And we'll go for the classic ladder checkmate. Yes, okay. Perfect. Ladder checkmate. That's what I like to see. Something was a little uncomfortable about that sequence right there. And I think I know exactly what it is. Always promote to queen. Yes. Yes, please. Yes, please. That was way too close to call. Having to choose between a queen, a rook, a knight, a bishop. That was too uncomfortable. Now, of course, the last 5 seconds is a blur. Is anyone supposed to be able to replicate all of that? No, definitely not. Definitely not. But are there elements of it? that can be replicated? For sure. For sure. Namely, this one. If you have a million pieces and he's got one, I don't care what piece you're giving away for it, remove that piece from the board immediately. This could be a bishop. It could be a knight. I don't care what it is. Take it. Take it. He's got one piece. You've got countless. Take it. I don't care what it is. I don't care what you're giving away. It's always worth it. Doesn't matter what it is. I would rather it be off the board. And then what? I'm dealing with a guy with king and pawns. Like he's moving around. Who cares? The moves are very easy to predict then. I know he's going to move his king. I know he's going to move his pawns. That's it. If I don't take it, I try to keep my queen on the board here. All of a sudden, when I'm low on time, the guy could throw in a check to ruin my day. But if I take it, all of a sudden, my simple plan, whether it works or not, I could flag here. But my plan is just going to be take a pawn, like get out of the way, make a queen, and then ladder checkmate. And it's possible that this might not have worked. Turns out that it did. It wasn't a guarantee, but at least this is a plan. Get rid of the thing, take something, make a pass pawn, make a queen, try ladder checkmate. If we didn't have enough time, or if the king was hiding on this square maybe, possible that it might not have worked. Let's jump into the next one. Don't try to remember everything about this game. I mean, guys, this is someone who just handed me a knight, okay? Let's get real. I trust that you guys could win this game as well. But what we do want to remember is something like this. This is like, oh, okay, that could be pretty useful. Yeah, I have a ton of pieces. Am I going to sit here and be like, oh, no, queen, rook, no, that doesn't compute. Let me keep my queen on the board. No, by the time you make that decision, you're already flagging. Take it. Just make your life easier. Mr. Bosch, actually, we're speaking to people much like yourself who probably need a lot of advice on how to win with 4 extra pieces. When you're only up 1 piece, I think most of us have a pretty good grip on the position. When you're up multiple pieces, you actually know a lot less about how to win than usual. Most people would try to keep their queen. Much simpler to eliminate counterplay. Yes, if you're not a confident checkmater or you don't want to take a risk, yeah, you could sit here and go like this, and then like this, and then like this, and just take his pawns and say, okay, let me make a draw. Let me make a draw. Just depends what kind of person you are. A Petkov, thank you for the 37 months with Prime. 11 from Japanese Tutor. Cheers, buddy. Almost a year, and thank you for the Prime. Big Boy LaBerge loves trading, and that's why he's here for 2 months with Prime. All right, we're up against Papa Pierre. And we just saw this. We defend it rather than take it. Bring our knight, the bishop. Good way to deal with this pin, and we still snork up there. Okay. We can castle. Pawn. We kind of looked at a position similar to this before. First of all, the bishop coming here to make a trade. He's moved here and then moved again. We move here. We can move again. It's not really a big deal. But also, it's this pawn move and this bishop out that we've been talking about. Because the bishop doesn't really have a future there unless he takes, and we can't guarantee that he's going to take. And then the knight comes here. Okay. always take this one with a pawn there. Knight b5. Hitting my pawn here, I got a couple options. The first option is, well, guy's hitting my pawn, let me defend it. Second option is, well, the guy's hitting my pawn, let me move it. Two reasonable choices here. In this particular position, I'd probably choose to move it. And we've talked about moving the knight here so that we can move it, so that it's not blocking it. If the knight was here, I would not be enjoying my position. But with the knight here, yeah. Sure, we'll move it. See what happens. Okay, trade. Well, not going to think twice about that one. Trade. Knight takes back. Our bishops hit here. Couple of options, but okay. Saving the bishop definitely seems like the safest. And probably not going to be... Okay, well, capture. I was going to say probably not going to be a very tricky position now. Let's kick the knight out maybe. Okay, moves the knight. Shall we continue to move our pieces? First of all, taking is something we are not that interested in doing. The same way I'm not that interested in taking here. I would really only take if there's some specific benefit, but what I can see is that I might just end up with an isolated d pawn. Like if these two pawns disappear, then this pawn is just going to be pretty weak. So I much prefer a move like this. We can bring all the pieces to the middle. Maybe we can connect our pawns, but nice move from the opponent there. Just going to prevent that. We have our snorkel, a nice move once again from the opponent. Going to keep bringing the pieces out. Another nice move from the opponent. Pretty much got to take, so let's just go and do it quick. And you see how the opponent has actually slowly, maybe didn't even need, probably needed this, but not this, slowly crafted a weak pawn for us. So, okay, we need to defend this thing, which sucks. I hate defending weak pawns. Much rather attack them. But he's playing well. Where should our pieces go from here? Well, the rook should probably move. It's the only piece that hasn't. Rook d8 looks pretty good. Rook c8, the only open file, looks pretty good as well. He moves the knight, and I would say trading always makes us happy. Okay, get some trades in there, and that's about it. Don't really know what else to do here. We got two pieces that kind of have to stay defending this pawn, so perfect. I don't even have to consider moving them. So I've only really got two pieces I can move, because I can't really move pawns either. So I've only got two options of things I can move. The knight doesn't really have many places to go. The rook's just like hitting this pawn. Maybe the rook. I can't really go here though, so maybe my rook can move to move my pawn. That's about the only plan I can come up with. So I'll move my rook and I'll move my pawn, and then I'll probably move my pawn again, and then if he lets me, I'll even move it again. I'm that simple. Okay, well, that's that. These pieces still can't move. Now the pawn can't move. The rook doesn't look like it's going to get much better than supporting this pawn. So I've got one knight. That's it. One knight to move. What's a good spot for this knight? I don't even know. Can't go here. We could trade it for his knight. Oh, he's going to go there. I don't think that stops me from trading his knight. Oh, okay. Well, we tried our best. Guy's one step ahead of us. Because his knight moved away. Okay, I have other pieces I can move. Well, now that the knight and queen aren't hitting that, put a knight in the middle. That certainly looks all right. Queen over here. Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not doing anything special here. The guy's doing it to himself. I didn't set that up. This guy did. I didn't set it up. I told you we were going to move this pawn as soon as we could, and well, we can now, so maybe we can try to trade queens. Possible. Please trade. Please trade. Okay, got a trade there. And maybe we can do the same thing, like bring the rook down, try to, get the knight out of there. Okay, we're still in the end game, and I can't budge these knights at the moment. But yeah, like I said, we're still in the end game, so we'll still bring our king in. Okay, what do we got here? Push some pawns as well. Push some pawns. All right, pawns have been pushed. What can we do now? How do I get rid of these damn knights here? I'm gonna use my king. Use my... Oh, okay. Well, I guess we're going to use our king. Use our king. Use our king. Let's take that. Dude. All right, I took all the pawns. No! If you just take them all real quick and just announce it, they should award you that draw, honestly, in my opinion. Everyone saw it. For a split second, there were no white pawns on the board. The way I see it, that's a draw. Papa Pierre was a speedy guy. He was. Got to give him that. But I don't know. Have to send that one for video review. It did seem to me like there was a moment in time with no white pawns on the board, so I would call that a draw. Joey, thanks for the gifted sub. B&Z, next week. Thanks for the 51. And Ravishin, thanks for the $5. Cheers, Ravishin. We are continuing. More Queen's Gambit declined, right? We're just supporting the pawn in the center. And I feel like this is a reasonable setup that we can use. Lots of trades. And our opponent played well. I thought he was the strongest opponent we've faced thus far. Who knows? But hopefully the ideas in the middle game, which were not easy, right? It's not easy to figure out what to do here. But I felt that the moves made sense because it's like, well, I can't move these two. Why even try? Like, I'm guarding something he's attacking. So I've only got two other pieces to move. It becomes a lot simpler that way. Okay, we'll put the pawn in the middle and see what opening he's going to play, and it is going to be the Scandinavian. All right, let's bring our knights out. More trades. Okay. Pawn into the middle. Nasty pin right there. Okay. Little snork there. Nope. Okay. Castle. Okay. Takes us. So we'll take that. Okay, queen e4. Well, he's sneaky, isn't he? He's uncovering an attack on us here. I see you. I see you. So he's hitting our queen. Let's maybe improve our bishop and hit his queen. Back at you. And just try to complete development. We were snorked up here. We're castled. Taking everything he's throwing at us, basically. Oh, okay. All right. So he's up a knight. When we're calculating, got to make sure we're realizing. Okay, guy's up a knight. Got it. If we take a queen and he takes a queen, he's still going to be up a knight. Couldn't possibly consider such a thing. Couldn't consider it. Knight takes e5. Bishop hit, pawn hit into the center, I guess. Not thrilled about this. Feel like our opponent's played pretty well so far. Okay, can we finish our development here? Hit the center, bring the rooks to the middle. Okay, bishop to g7. The knight looks pretty menacing here. I'm probably going to get rid of it and then, just bring the rooks to the center. Oh. Okay. Bishop needs to move. I suppose we'll stay central right now. Okay, we got opposite bishops, and my position doesn't look great. But opposite bishops, when you're kind of on the worst side, just every single pawn you have on the same color as your bishop. Makes it easier. If I was on the good side of this position, I would probably want them on dark squares. Like, I'm still fighting for something. But here, I'm ready to tap out. I'm not fighting for anything. I'm done fighting. Let me put them all in the opposite color and say, good luck. See what you can do. Let's double the rooks, and then we can start to maybe bring our king into the middle. Okay. Bishop is hit. Okay, well, that's a trade, so we'll make that one and keep our bishop near the center. Okay, now we want to get our other rook out or somewhere in the middle. Bring our king. Okay, let's try to get our pieces out. Bring the king. So a good example of a move I would not do here is I would probably not play this, because it's a pawn on a dark square. It's the same color as this bishop. I'm not interested in that. I'm really only interested in pawns like this, where he can't touch them. Gotta keep my pawn defended here. This is the sore spot of my position, because as you can see, it's the only pawn that's on a dark square, and I actually can't change that, unfortunately. So I'm probably gonna have to leave my king on this pawn like most of the game. Okay. More light square pawns. Light square pawns. Okay. Hands up if you're doing nothing. Oh. Hands up if you're doing nothing. Okay. Guy's getting a little excited here. Well, he's only got one pawn. May as well attack it. Okay, look. I'm happy to just... I'm not trying to do anything. I'm not trying to be a hero. I'm not trying to be a hero. Just going back and forth. Just an innocent guy over here. I would say this is a pretty solid example of... put our bishop back. It's a pretty solid example of just having a position where you're not doing much, and happy to make that draw. Just happy to make that draw against coronavirus. Well, okay, it is a pin, so I suppose we have to take advantage of the pin. I mean, have to. I mean, it's only right. Okay, well, see if we can use our king. Okay, the king's coming in hot. The king is coming in hot. That's crazy. What? This guy just resigned a draw. You understand why I tell you not to resign, right? We've seen thousands of examples in this series alone. This is insanity. He's resigning in a draw. No, focusing on the draw is fine, Cloudy, definitely. How was that a draw? Well, better question. How was that a win? If you're ever confused, maybe ask yourself the opposite question. You're sitting there saying, how is it a draw? But how is it a win? You have to have an answer to how it's a win. Because it's a draw if nothing happens. So if you're claiming that it should be a win, then you have to have something in mind that's going to make it a win for you. So what's that? Cloudy, you're 2100, bud. You're you're not in the right series here. So you're gonna make a pass pawn on the queen side. Okay. So you're gonna make a pass pawn on the queen side. Okay. First thing, and I'm sure you'll be shocked. What if I don't let you make a pass pawn on the queen side? It's crazy. Insane thought right there. Okay, my bad. Not allowed to make good moves. Okay, so you make your pass pawn on the queen side. Okay, now, crazy thought. What if I don't allow you to do it again? No way. Unbelievable. But my opponent resigned. Now, I'm not saying he would have made a draw, but I am saying that there's just no point in resigning, right? If he had just played on, maybe he would have played here and then realized, oh, he can just shuffle my king and my bishop. Opposite bishops. If you're not in a good position, just put the pawns on the same color as your bishop and do what I did. Nothing. If you're actually trying to win, you would probably want your pawns on the same color as your opponent's bishop. Or opposite color of yours, however you remember it. But if everybody puts their pawns on the same color as the bishop, there's not a lot that's going to happen. It's going to be very even, very drawish, not a lot to play for. But if these pawns were all on the opposite color, there'd be a lot to play for. Everyone's bishops could attack something. And if you're the guy that's ahead in the position, you want more chances to win. So you'd rather that both of you have pawns that are vulnerable. But if I'm looking to just draw the game, or I'm worried I'm going to lose it, I want a position where no pawns are vulnerable. So that, hey, it might not have winning chances, but I'm not trying to win. So I don't care about that. So I was behind here, so I was like, well, put the pawns on light squares and shuffle the bishop and see what happens. Cloudy credits the Habit series, the original. Cloudy, could it be the original series for reaching 2100? Wow. Big for the program. We have an alumni here. Big alum in the chat. He made it to 2100. This is the guy that, comes in, gather around in the school auditorium and tells you about how you can make it. Watch the original Habits when he was 1000. An inspiration to us all. Thank you for the 5 subs, Cloudy FFS. Most of these 1600 plus Habits games are hopefully just going to feature a general theme, something to pick up on in each game, while we continue to generally follow good habits. And you'll notice as I'm making my moves, I'm not really saying, oh, this is following this habit, but you can just kind of observe the moves and see how they do. You know, most moves have something to do with the center of the board. We're still kind of going for our trades. For the most part, the trades we're avoiding have to do with pawns in the middle of the board. We're not just blindly capturing anymore because we're a bit more aware of pawn structure and maybe weak squares or weak bad pieces to have, weak pawns to have. It's a sub command there, Cloudy. We here at chessbrah, we paywall your ability to check your rating. There's no other way to check your rating. You'll never know your own rating without subscribing. It'll just be a question mark eternally. Ingmar, thanks for the 2 months with Prime. Always have to guess Iceland with a name like Ingmar. And then if not, just kind of move over geographically in the Nordics. Thank you, Ingmar Chess, for the 2 months with Prime. Cloudy, 6 months in advance. And now he can check his rating. Look at that. That was a missed opportunity to set it to pleb only on my end, but I'll be quicker next time. Thank you, Cloudy, for the sub. He's 19 months resubbed, and he just went for 6 months in advance, which means the 2-year anniversary is all but guaranteed. Maybe, Nico, it's because everyone's following the habits. But that was not my experience. I did this series at 400, and I did not find it to be very difficult. Like, people are hanging stuff. If you're taking free pieces at 400 and you're putting your pieces towards the center, you're not going to be 400 for very long. Frisbee Dogs, thanks for the gifted sub. Let's continue.